Min Hee-jin, the former CEO of ADOR, managed to make headlines again on January 6, 2025, for all the wrong reasons. Instead of showing up to mediate the lawsuit filed against her for defamation and covering up workplace harassment, she skipped the session. Now, she's no longer the head of the company, but her actions are a clear indicator that some people think they can walk away from the mess they've made without facing the consequences. It's already bad enough that Min Hee-jin had to step down from her position as CEO due to the ongoing controversies. But to now skip a mediation in which she is personally implicated shows a complete lack of accountability. Resigning from her position may have been a strategic move to distance herself from the company's issues, but it doesn't absolve her of the responsibility she holds in this case. Skipping the mediation session doesn't make the legal problems disappear. In fact, it adds fuel to the fire. Reports indicate that Min Hee-jin's legal team was the only party to attend the mediation on her behalf, leaving the accuser to deal with nothing in an empty chair where the former CEO should have been. Let's be honest here, the mediation wasn't just a formality. This was her chance to address the allegations head-on, to potentially settle and show some level of responsibility. But instead, Min Hee-jin chose to avoid direct engagement. The accuser, who had expressed willingness to settle if Min Hee-jin would acknowledge the situation and apologize, was left in limbo. Instead of offering an olive branch, Min Hee-jin's representatives outright rejected any possibility of resolution. This wasn't about strategic negotiation. This was a rejection of responsibility. And it's not just a bad look, it's a huge mistake. By failing to even show up to this session, Min Hee-jin sends the message that she is uninterested in resolving the matter and incredibly unwilling to admit any wrongdoing. Her actions very much extend to the very artists she worked so hard to promote. The attention surrounding this case will inevitably spill over to NewJeans, the group she helped shape into a global phenomenon. And the same group that keeps supporting her even in the midst of all this nonsense. This could have been a chance for Min Hee-jin to publicly own up to any mistakes. Instead, she opted to avoid the consequences. The damage to her own reputation is significant, but the repercussions for NewJeans and ADOR's image could be just as severe. When you're a public figure, your actions don't just impact you, they affect your entire ecosystem. Now, fans will be forced to grapple with the reality that their beloved NewJeans is tied to someone who's evading responsibility for major allegations. Whether or not this ultimately affects their success, it's going to be an uncomfortable period for everyone involved. The fact is, Min Hee-jin cannot escape the consequences of her actions just because she's no longer CEO. While her resignation may have distanced her from ADOR in an official capacity, it doesn't sever her ties to this case or the way she's handled the allegations. Avoiding the mediation doesn't make the issue go away. It just means the next chapter of this saga will unfold in the courtroom, where the stakes are much higher. She had a chance to redeem herself, even if only slightly, by showing up, listening, and offering an apology. Instead, she chose to let her legal team do the talking, sending a message that she is too important to face the consequences of her actions. That's a classic case of stupidity, and it's going to follow her. In the end, skipping mediation doesn't make the allegations vanish. If anything, it's a guarantee that Min Hee-jin's actions will continue to haunt her legacy, and NewJeans might just be the unfortunate collateral damage in the mess she's left behind.